Recent research presented by the Electoral Commission of South Africa has indicated a sharp decline in public support for democracy and trust in institutions. The IEC chairperson, Msutu Meapa, says the findings had prompted the Commission to spend time to confront the serious and worrying developments in voter attitudes. For more on this, I'm joined now by Professor Andre Duvenage, political analyst from the Northwest University. Prof, good afternoon. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Let's start with the decline in the institution trust itself. I mean, the IEC in its report in KwaZulu-Natal, they were focusing on that province, but of course also looking broadly into the country. But if you just look at the KZN province, decline in the trust in the IEC itself from 74% in 2009 to 20% in 2025, while you're looking at a national average of 32% trust in the institution. I mean, for an institution that is the bedrock of democracy, how is anything less than 50% not a full-blown crisis?
Good afternoon, Tabu, and the viewers. Yes, indeed, what is reflected by the research of the IEC is indeed negative. My own experience, and I am analyzing elections and giving comments about elections since 1994. And one of the strong points, probably one of the single strong points of our democracy historically, was the effectiveness and the efficiency of the IEC. And I have no doubt that, generally speaking, maybe with a few problems here and there, the IEC were able to deliver free and fair elections. That is true on a national, provincial level on the one side, as well as on the local level. But since the establishment and the entry of the MK party into politics, and we need to understand the nature of the MK party. If you look at their constitution, they are basically an anti-system political party. They are working against the constitution. They are working against the Dutch Roman law. If you remember the words of Jacob Zuma, they do not recognize a thing like corruption. Now, what I am picking up is that it is primarily the influence of the MK party in KZN that is responsible for the negative attitude with regard to the IEC. But now we also need to take into consideration that the MK party support is not only limited to KZN, there are also pockets of support outside, and this has an impact on the position of the IEC.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the IEC says it's institutional contagion, which means they're blaming issues like service delivery and corruption. So blaming the government itself for failing to deliver services as the reason why people don't trust institutions like the IEC. Is that a fair defense, or are they using government's failures to mask their own technical glitches?
Well, I think there's definitely a political strategy behind all of this. There's no doubt that our democracy, generally speaking, is facing serious challenges in terms of what we like to refer to in the academic literature as democratic consolidation. And this is implicating a number of aspects like economic growth, effective service delivery, efficiency, ethical governance, and all of this. And there's no doubt that there are problems in this regard. But to blame the IEC for this, I think that is fundamentally unfair. My assessment is that the IEC did a sound job under relative difficult circumstances. Take into consideration the logistical challenges when it comes to a local election where there are 257 local government institutions, not to talk about the number of wards that are contested, not to talk about the number of voting points. And I think this is a major challenge they need to conclude in terms of limited resources and difficult circumstances, especially when it comes to the rural areas of the country. So what I am reading is a MK strategy to delegitimize the government and the political system at large by taking on the IEC.
So a political party trying to delegitimize government systems and the process of the IEC at large. At what point does that political strategy or political rhetoric, if you like, cross the line and actually begin to dismantle public belief in the ballot box?
Well, I think we have reached that point, and we have seen this tendency coming over a long time, but it wasn't a direct attack on the system. We saw that in terms of high levels of political apathy, which to me is an indication that people are losing trust in the political system and in the workings of the political system, especially on a local level. But what the MK party is doing, they are weaponizing this for their own advantage. And rather than taking it to the voting context and vote for the party you would like to vote in order to bring about the necessary change. That is what democracy is all about. And what I am reading within the MK, and maybe there are other parties aligning with the MK, is not a democratic strategy, but which is in essential anti-democratic in nature. And that is a real reason for concern.
Now, when we look at that, then it brings us to the question of stability. And what happens to stability in the province should the loser in the province in the next election simply then go out and shout, well, the system is rigged?
Well, Tabu, then unfortunately we are back at, especially when we look at KZN, back at the 2021 scenario where we have seen internal conflict, internal violence. And it can work towards the point that, that this can lead to a form of a breakup in the complete political system. Now, hopefully, we don't enter that level, but there are reasons for concern. Therefore, I believe it is critical important that the government deploy the necessary forces to keep order and stability during election time, even if it implicates what we like to refer to as a form of Praetorian politics. At this point in time, we cannot afford a disruption of the system, at least not at the scale we have seen that happening during 2021. We need stability. I know there are major challenges politically, economically, socially, internationally, and otherwise we need to address, but we need to address it from a constitutional point of departure where democratic principles and democratic conventions, including elections, are critical important.
Looking at how the IEC got dragged into political wars between the MK and the ANC around the intellectual property court case, around whether the party should be registered and so on and so forth, and how the IEC would have been intertangled into those court battles. Is the IEC independent enough to push back against parties for its existence? I mean, these are the parties that maybe have a particular view of the IEC because of instances like that.
Tabu, we have seen everything in South Africa is politicized one way or another. And you can just look at the South African police force, which is supposed to give independent support to the citizens of the country and not being linked to a political party, not even to refer to the involvement of criminal syndicates. So unfortunately, it is a tendency in South Africa that we have political involvement in many institutions on many levels. And I believe it to be the case to probably a lesser extent with regard to the IEC. But the fact of the matter is the IEC is vulnerable. And the IEC can only push back as far as they have the resources, as far as they have legal backing, as well as National Prosecution Authority and the criminal justice system implementing the South African law applicable on all political parties and all political institutions in the same way. And there are reasons for concern in this regard. I believe, and I don't want to take the debate to that level, but there are currently huge battles going on within the ANC with regard to who is going to succeed Cyril Ramaphosa towards the end of 2027. I am not reading the MK party out of that framework. I'm not reading Paul Mashatile out of that framework. So my concern is there are dangerous and undemocratic forces at work at the moment, and it is a real threat for our democratic dispensation.
Now, we are going to have this conversation, and I'm sure in the build-up to the 2026 local government elections. We've had it before with other elections. The participation of young people. Only 40% of young people are registered. Are they disillusioned with the IEC, or have they just completely checked out of the democratic process altogether?
Well, I don't think it is the IEC per se that is the problem. It is a complete loss of confidence in the political system, in the ANC as a government, in their political ideology that is not deliver what they expected it to deliver. And we can just look at the results of high levels of unemployment, lack of service delivery, high levels of corruption, nepotism, state capture, complete implosion of local governance on so many levels. So you need to understand that many South Africans are very much disillusioned with what is going on in the country at the moment. For many black voters, it is very difficult to make a change away from a traditional ANC towards opposition parties like the Democratic Alliance and maybe some others. Therefore, they choose the option not to participate in politics. Now, this has fundamental negative implications for the ANC, and that is one of the reasons why the ANC support dropped from very high levels to currently very, very low levels. We saw what happened in the 2024 elections with a national support base of around 40%, and currently the predictions of ANC support, which is most cases lower on a local level compared to national and provincial levels, are something between 35 and as low as 30%. So I think it is a difficult time for the ANC. There is the potential for political instability in South Africa. My own academic analysis and publications predict that we are entering a period where we may see high levels of political instability.
So the reason why the IEC went to KwaZulu-Natal, of course, was to try and stop the bleeding. If you were to advise the IEC commissioner right now, what is the one thing they have to do, at least in the next 6 months, to stop this bleeding?
Well, I think they need to do what they should do in terms of the legislations that are implicated in this regard. They must do a fine job. Their job is not to play politics. Their job is to deliver a free and fair election. And they need to take all the measures they can take in order to ensure a free and fair election. Unfortunately, not everything are under their control. For example, patterns of instability, patterns of violence, etc. And therefore, KZN specifically is an area of concern. And in such a case, they need the support of the security establishment, referring to intelligence, the police, the South African Army, etc. And we can only hope that these people will be deployed in order to establish patterns of stability, ensuring free and fair elections, giving the IEC the opportunity to fulfill their mandate and ensure a free and fair election.
Professor Duvenage, much appreciated. That's Professor Andre Duvenage there from the Northwest University, giving us some analysis there following that presentation made by the IEC in KwaZulu-Natal, indicating trust in institution, but also trust in the democratic process on the decline. What's making